The laugh house was noisy, sounds of glass cups clinking together, groups cackling out of joy and intoxication, and humming from the jester behind the bar. Even with all the noise, Lulu's ears sat still, drooping like a wet leaf. She only sighed, her head resting on her hand while the other held a nearly empty cup by her removed hat. She then lifted the cup to her lips, drank the rest, then slid it over to the jester.
"You done?"
he asked, his voice rough yet gentlemanly. "No," Lulu responded. "Another." The jester raised an eyebrow and took the cup.
"That's your fifth one, Lockewit."
He began cleaning the inside of the cup with a small rag.
"I think it's best if you take a break."
Lulu groaned, her forehead meeting the surface of the bar with a quiet thump. She couldn't stop thinking about what Oberon said just a few bells ago. Nothing more. The jester set the cup down and leaned up against the bar, observing her. His lean body was covered head to toe in dark emerald scales, a few thin white lines running across his skin like claw marks. His features were serpentine, specifically resembling an aquatic cobra, dark spines like fins sprouting from his tail, chin, jaw, back, and wide hood. There was also a scar on the left side of his face, connecting to the first of 8 eyes to his lip. His outfit was Lackesian, chains holding his blue vest together at the chest like stitches, framed by his black waistcoat. Underneath was a fancy white shirt that had a high collar and laces at the edges of it and the sleeves. His flat stomach was also bare thanks to the cropped shirt and vest. Topping off the look was a black fedora, which laid still on his flat head.
"Okay, Lockewit,"
he began, his emerald eyes focused on Lulu's still body.
"Sit up."
Like a child, Lulu huffed, reluctantly obeying.
"Atta girl.
He grinned.
I can tell something is bothering you."
Lulu shot him a glare. "You think?" The jester laughed, unbothered by Lulu's annoyance.
"Yes, I do. I also think drinking your sorrows away ain't gonna help much."
"Makes me feel better."
"Yeah, but does it last?" "That's what I thought."
He chuckled quietly, getting his hands busy and lighting a few of the many candles upon the walls, filling the room with a strong aroma.
"Listen, life is tough. We all know it."
"Couldn't be for you. You've got one of the biggest laugh houses in town. Things are going great for you."
I have suffered and still suffer. I won't go into detail, but just because I have something great doesn't mean I'm invincible. I've lost a lot in my life.
Suddenly the scar on his face seemed to become more visible to Lulu's eye. Right.
I've cried just as much as I've laughed, but this laugh house is still up because I did more than cry.
Lulu furrowed her furry brows, her right ear perking up as she listened. The jester continued.
Ain't nothing wrong with crying while working through things. You can do both at the same time.
"This is the thing," Lulu shook her head. "I'm feeling, but it's keeping me from doing things."
You know what that's called?
"What?"
That's called giving up.
He seemed to become serious for a moment, leaning over the bar with his hands planted firmly on the surface, his hard gaze trapping Lulu's.
I've never taken you for a quitter, Lulu.
"I'm not a quitter," she responded. The jester's face softened.
Good to hear. Now run along. I got things to do around here.
He started making more drinks for the awaiting customers, then noticed a couple smaller Kivouachians walking in and seemed to become uneasy.
Powers,
he mumbled. "Something wrong?"
Oh, nothing. They just make me feel uneasy. Now go on, back to your ink house.
Lulu nodded quietly and got up from her seat, returning her hat to her head. "Okay. Anyway, thank you for the talk, sir. And for the drinks. We'll have fresh ink for your customers in a few bells." The jester smiled.
Just call me Jack, Lockewit. No need to get all formal with me anymore.
"Thank you, Jack."
Anytime. I'm all ears if you need me again. I'm willing to provide more than just drinks.
Lulu's lips curled into a small smile, her eyes brightening a little with hope.